Yes.
Chairman.
Honourable Phil Goff.
Mr. Chairman, some of the arguments have been brought out very clearly by the opposition as to why this bill should not proceed. I think the critical argument is that this bill is a bill with a low-wage vision for New Zealand, when any New Zealander knows that our future depends on being high-skilled, high-wage and high-tech. This idea that we can compete with the world by continuing to slash the wages that we pay to our people is absolutely discredited. Absolutely discredited. And I want to say to the members opposite, read what the departmental regulatory impact statement says about this bill. This is what the department advised the minister. The first thing it advised the minister was that they hadn't considered the options. Why hadn't they considered the options? Because the minister has said, this is what you're going to do. So they say right up front, this might not be the best way to go, but we have no choice. This is what the minister insisted. And then they say, on balance, they think that it will have a positive effect on the employment of, quote, the targeted group. What they say later on is that while the targeted group might see a little bit of job creation, maybe a few hundred, that will be at the expense of other groups who will be displaced. And it says that quite explicitly. It's likely to mean in particular that some 18 and 19-year-olds without much work experience and people aged 20 and over and on a benefit may be less attractive to employers than the 16 or 17-year-olds on the starting out wage. So you try to address the problem with unemployed 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds by making more 18, 19 and 20-year-olds unemployed. And then there's the Ministry of Education. What do they say about this? They say this is not the right thing to do. This is not consistent with the goal of getting more young people to stay at school to increase their skills. This is encouraging unskilled young people to drop out of school to go into a job that they'll get because they're paid peanuts. We don't need more unskilled 16 and 17-year-olds leaving school to go into the workforce. We need more 16 and 17-year-olds staying at school and improving their educational qualifications. We need more young people to get skilled trades. And I put it to Mr Bennett. Mr Bennett, I'm very glad to see Mr Bennett here. Let me remind Mr Bennett what he said about this bill when it was in Roger Douglas's name. Quote, David Bennett, the 21st of April 2010, not even 3 years ago. The quote, Mr Bennett, remember this, the fundamental proposition this bill puts up is that we need to pay people less to get them in their first job so that they can have an unskilled future. Mr Bennett, is that what you said, really? And you went on to say, this is what this bill essentially will do for New Zealanders. We see a different future for New Zealanders. We want to see young people get into training and skills so that they're not talking about getting the lowest paid job they possibly can, but instead they're looking to get the best paid job they possibly can. End quote. Mr Bennett, you were right then and you are wrong now. You could not be more wrong. I say to the government this. What about Labor's suggestion? We know that we are short of skilled tradespeople. We don't have the people to rebuild Christchurch. We don't have the people that will be needed if a government ever had an imaginative policy to create more houses in Auckland. What we need to do is to get young people off the dole and into skilled training. And what better way than what Labor was proposing at the last election than to actually pay the first-year unemployment benefit to the employer to encourage the employer to take on additional apprentices. Get more young people into genuine, skilled opportunities. Get more people into apprenticeships, not, Mr Bennett, slash apprenticeships by 20%, as this national government has done. Not, as this government has done, cutting $53 million out of skilled training 2 budgets ago, when what we actually need is for more young people to have skills to contribute to this country. You know what a low-wage vision is for this country? It's a one-way plane ticket for more and more New Zealanders to fly to Australia. Why are they going to Australia, Mr Bennett? They're going to Australia because your government has not created job opportunities here and because there are not the well-paid jobs to keep New Zealand...
Order. David Bennett.
I move that the question be now put.
Mr Chair.
I'll take Ian Lee Scalloway.
Very much, Mr Chair. Who remembers that fateful night when the sword finally